really important you understand what the business needs your brand to do first, right? Sometimes we need you to grow like crazy. Sometimes we need you to be a beachhead to enter a new market, all the things, right? But you need to know what your role is. I also think, agree with Amber. This is where diversity is important. You need people with different views who can tell you what their brand means to them. I think when you do have these large brands, they do have history. That is just go back and look through the history. I remember the rebrand of Betty Crocker. It probably happened 3 times when I was at General Mills, right? But, there was some guy that said, oh, I think all women should have a chocolate cake on the table when I come home from work on a Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And somebody listened to a woman that was like, I do not like to bake. And if I crack an egg, that counts as baking. Right. And so that brand was born and it got a little bit away from that. It kind of almost became an old brand because it was all about like homemakers. And so they had to kind of go back to that history and really modernize it. But by looking to the past, they got insights for the future. And I think that lends itself to what's your brand's purpose. I think if you know what your brand's purpose is, innovation and creativity is easy. It's hard to get the right purpose, and it does need to reflect your products. It does need to reflect your strategic direction. And if it does that well, it can tell you where you have a right to play and where you don't. But you should put them all out at the table and say, do I have a right to play there? And do I have the capabilities and the team to win in that space? And if you don't, go get them, because that shouldn't be the end of the conversation. There are so many untapped markets. All people, all walks of life love brands, but we do not distribute our attention and our spending toward all populations equally. But when it comes to the creativity, I think when you have that purpose, it's almost, it becomes a no-brainer where you could go, where you should go. But then I do think as leaders, you need to give people space. I think the key to creativity is getting the right team in place and giving them space and protection for them to play. And knowing that it's not creative if you don't fail at least half the time. And it's not a failure. What did we learn from it? What does this say about our brand? Maybe we've got to tweak our purpose because it should have worked and it didn't. And so to me, I think those are some key kind of leadership components, at least.